Uh, what's up, miscreants? AWTD time. More persona units. We're gonna be doing persona units for a while. There's so many of them. We have Violet right here. 0.005% drop rate from boss rush. Very painful. I actually got her on my first run, so that was nice. The unit itself is fine, I guess. I don't have her traded, obviously, so I imagine with honor she's probably better. She's a one placement though, which isn't a huge surprise. Good attack rate. Critical justice is pretty good, I would say. Justice is a nice little thing on its own even. But crit's also good with a 100% crit chance too. So this is kind of useless though. The Veil of Sunrise, 50% dodge, whatever that means, as far as I know. Hey! What's up, miscreants? Another Persona unit. This one is pretty mid. I'm gonna go ahead and say that now, is they're just not very good. They have critical justice. I like justice, and I like crit, and it's a 100% good chance, so that's pretty sweet. The unit's painful drop from boss rush. It's like a 0.05% or some nonsense. Um, very annoying. I macroed it, like I think anybody who's sane would do. This is weird. 50% chance to dodge attacks is kind of exactly what it says it is. It's just like if a unit's gonna get stunned, there's a 50% chance that they don't. Um, so I guess there's that. I'm not sure if it applies to deletion though, and I'm not super interested in testing it out because to be honest, I will never probably be running this unit. Most, you know how it is. So Violet Phantom is a interesting little ability. 10 times damage to all enemies in range. That's not a lot of damage. Main thing though is all enemies who are hit with that are going to permanently have Despair, Fear, Slow, and Vulnerable, which is pretty good. It's very similar to the King engine thing that permanently applies Despair, except it's way better. Well, not really. I mean, you can't, you can only use it really once. I mean, it's got like 1,000 seconds. You know what? Actually, it is just the King engine, but better in every way. You do have to bring Joker, who I do know that's his name because people said it in the Discord. You do have to bring Joker, which I don't have Joker's full Evo because the Sid raid only spawns every 6 hours, which is egregious still. But you know, it's not a not a huge deal. You know, honestly, I think he's Joker's good. I don't know. I've heard he's good, so there's that. Really not a lot for this unit though. They lead Sibling, I think like 110% damage and 5% SPA. Like, what kind of lead is that? Sibling already has Choso, so if we're being honest, there's just never a reason to run this unit for lead. Honestly, there's just not really a reason to run this unit at all. Unless you really just want that persona setup, which I guess I can understand. So, with buffs, these two, and yeah. So with buffs, it's fair amounts of damage. You'd see like what's a 15 million. And then once you apply this, that's going to bring Justice up and obviously guaranteed crit. So all of that does come together fairly well to make the unit a lot better. But let's just see how the unit does with a 1 billion health boss. Let's just see if they can win. I can't use that, but you get the idea. I think the damage is not great, but it's somewhat the idea. Oh wow, that's not even that must be really bad. Yeah, it's really bad. The damage is really bad. I imagine if she actually applied her own debuffs outside of Phantom Stance, which, of course, if you do run the whole, persona setup team for whatever reason, I guess because you feel like it, this could really work out. I feel like she could probably do a lot better if the enemies actually had debuffs being applied to them, which of course this one doesn't, and I'm not really gonna do that. But you can imagine, pretty good debuffs. Almost all the persona units have a fairly good cosmetic. I'm not super into just like showing them off. They're all prison units are not that hard to get. Um, they're kind of inconvenient to obtain, but evolving them, Joker's really the only one who's actually difficult to evolve. So for the most part, honestly, you'll see the cosmetics. Everybody's using them. They're kind of just everywhere right now, and I like them well enough. So yeah, pretty not great unit, all in all. Uh, I guess if you have Joker on your team, they're a lot better. Other than that, pretty much unusable. That's it. Bye bye.
Lingang guli 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 wacha lingango lingango lingang guli 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 wacha lingango lingango lingang